Well, good afternoon, children. How are you all? We are back once again with a wonderful chapter of our half-yearly syllabus. The chapter is Goodbye to the Moon by Monica Hughes. As you can see, Goodbye to the Moon by Monica Hughes. Now, when we do this chapter, you will understand how it feels like to be on the moon. Because here we have a little child, we have a little boy who goes with his father from the moon to Earth. It is a wonderful experience that he has. He goes with his father to the Earth to view Earth, to see the beautiful destinations of Earth. And that is what we are going to do today in our chapter. Goodbye to the moon means bye-bye moon. Now what do you mean by bye-bye moon? Bye-bye moon because the boy was coming with his father to Earth where we live. We know that we live on the Earth. And so he bid goodbye to the moon. He said bye-bye moon and he was coming down to the Earth. Well, let us know something about Monica Hughes. Children, as you can see, Monica Hughes 1925 to 2003. She was a Canadian author, an American-Canadian author who is specially known for her books on science fiction. Well, the name itself says that it is a science fiction, Goodbye to the Moon. So you can understand it is a science fiction. And she wrote mainly books on science fiction. She also wrote adventure and historical novels. She was famous for that too. The text Goodbye to the Moon is an adaptation from one of her popular works of science fiction. So this text that we do today, Goodbye to the Moon, what is it? It is an adaptation. It has been adapted and taken from one of her popular, famous works of science fiction. And this has been named accurately just because to make us, understand the chapter better. The name has been given in such a way so that we understand the chapter better. We know what is going on, we know who's going, we know where the person is going, with whom he is going. It's something like that. Always we have a fantasy about this moon. We keep on imagining about moon. So today exactly we will know what this little boy has to say about the moon. And he says goodbye to the moon with his father and he's coming to our Earth, to visit our Earth. Let's get back to the chapter. I sat in the dark view room of the space station. Now let me tell you, see, view room. What is a view room? Like in this classroom, this is not a view room. You know why it is not a view room? Because if I stand here or if I sit here, I will not be able to see outside because there is no transparency. If I want to look outside, it has to be covered and it has to be all around, there has to be glass so that I can see outside. So a view room is a room which has transparency all around. There is glass and you can see outside. See, a room which has a glass panel so that one may look at the outside world. If I want to see outside, I can see what is outside. But in this classroom, I cannot see what is outside. So this is not a view room. So I here refers to the little boy, he's the speaker here. He says, I sat in the dark view room of the space station. Imagine, he was in the space station. Do you know what is a space station? A space station is a satellite stationed in space for scientific work. We've all heard about space station. We've all heard about the different scientists carrying out their research work on space station. So where was he? He was there at the space station. Now if you want to catch a train, now where will you go? To a platform obviously. If you want to take a flight, where will you go? You're going to go to the airport. So it's very similar. If I want to take a rocket, I will go to a space station. So this boy was sitting at the space station waiting for the ferry. Ferry to come. Ferry mane ki? Ferry mane jaan. He was waiting for the ferry to come and take his father and him to Mother Earth, here, to us. I looked out at the Earth. So he was in the view room and he could see. He was in the space station and he could see Earth. Just imagine the feelings. He could see Earth. It was somewhat familiar to me. I understood. Mother Earth I've read about a lot. It is said to be the blue planet. It's a beautiful planet with water all around. We can see that. It's 3/4 water and 1/4 land. So that's all about blue planet, our Earth. And he knew it very well. There was a small photograph of the blue planet in our drawing room. I came to know about Mother Earth because this little boy says that there is a photograph in his drawing room. তার ড্রয়িং রুমে একটা ছবি আছে, যে ছবি দেখে সে কিন্তু খুব ভালো করে বুঝতে পেরেছে look like? Drawing room টা কোথায়? Drawing room টা moon এ, because he is staying at the moon. Moon থেকে সে Mother Earth এ যাচ্ছে, কাজে এটা মাথায় রাখবে। I, দেখো এবার বলছে কিন্তু I কে, আমি Kepler Masterman, তাহলে আমার নাম কি? Kepler Masterman was born on the moon 15 years back. আমি কিন্তু বয়স, Kepler Masterman এর বয়স কিন্তু 15 বছর। আমি 15 বছর আগে I was born on the moon. Children, can you imagine we are earth born? Kepler was moon born. So if Kepler is moon born, he's different. He's different because he has to put on a space suit and he has to go outside, which we don't need to wear. আমাদের তো প্রয়োজনই পড়ে না। কেন প্রয়োজন পড়ে না? Because, you know, we have this gravitational pull. And if I walk, I know there's going to be gravity which is going to pull me. I'm not going to float. But Kepler had to wear a very heavy space suit because he was there on the moon, and on the moon you simply cannot walk if there is no space suit. You fly around because there's no gravitation there. So, my mother had been dead 5 years ago. Poor thing. Kepler's mother died 5 years ago. She had also told me stories about the earth, that excitingly known place. So when my mother was there and I was small, she told me many stories. অনেক গল্প বলেছে আমাকে মাদার আর্থের সম্বন্ধে, অনেক কিছু। ডু ইউ নো হোয়াই? আচ্ছা, আমি আজকে যদি ক্লাস নিই, ক্লাসে এসে আমি যদি এখন তোমাদেরকে একটা কোনো গল্প বলি, নিশ্চয়ই সেই সম্বন্ধেই গল্প বলবো which pleases me, যেটা আমার খুব ভালো লাগে, যেটা আমার গল্প বলতে যেটাকে নিয়ে ভালো লাগবে, যে জিনিসটা আমার খুব পছন্দের। আর আমি ক্লাসে মাঝে মাঝেই তোমাদের সাথে এটা করতাম না, মাঝে মাঝে গল্প বলতাম। ঠিক সেই রকম ক্যাপলারের মা was not moon born, she was earth born. So earth was her home. So naturally, if she had to speak, if she had to tell a story, it would be about Mother Earth. সেই জন্য ক্যাপলারকে ছোটবেলা থেকে মাদার আর্থের সম্বন্ধে এত গল্প বলেছে that Kepler knew quite a lot about Mother Earth. Well, my father, Kepler's Baba, is the governor of the moon. Kepler's Baba একটা খুব বড় আইডেন্টিটি। কি পজিশন? He was a governor at the moon. He was going on an expedition to the earth. Kepler's Baba এখন কোথায় যাচ্ছিলেন? কেন Kepler স্পেস স্টেশনে বসেছিল? কারণ তারা আর্থে যাচ্ছিল, they were going to earth, একটা এক্সপেডিশনে যাচ্ছিল। And here was I, accompanying him on my first ever journey to the earth. And I was so happy, believe me, Kepler, I am so happy to go to the earth. Why was I happy to go to the earth? Because I've heard so much about earth. I know so much about earth. I want to see the blue planet. And so I told my father that, Father, if you're going to the earth, to explore earth, please take me along with you. And father agreed, and I went with my father. I looked down at earth. আমি কিন্তু সেখানে বসে ভিউরিং থেকে আমি কিন্তু নিচে যখন তাকালাম, I looked at earth. It seemed so close to me that I felt I could touch it. এত কাছে মনে হচ্ছিল মাদার আর্থ, যেন মনে হচ্ছিল আমি হাত বাড়ালেই কোথায় ধরতে পারবো জানলা থেকে। We had to wait for another 15 minutes before our journey started. আরো 15 মিনিট বসে থাকতে হবে, তারপর আমরা জার্নি শুরু করব towards Mother Earth. We are going to go to Earth. Feeling restless, আমার আর ভালো লাগছিল না, কতক্ষণ বসবো, অনেকক্ষণ তো বসে আছি, ভীষণ রেস্টলেস লাগছিল। I left the viewing room and glided down the long passage to the center of the space station. আমি ভিউ রুম থেকে উঠে পড়ে আমি কি করলাম, আস্তে করে, দেখো আমি এখানে গ্লাইডেড মানে কি বলেছি, গ্লাইডেড মানে মুভড অ্যাওয়ে স্মুথলি। আমি আগেই বলেছি যদি আমি এখন হাঁটি, আমি হাঁটবো, আমি গ্লাইড করবো না। কেন? বিকজ অফ দ্য গ্র্যাভিটেশন আমাকে ধরে রাখবে। কিন্তু কেপলারকে যদি মুভ করতে হয়, তাহলে ও কিন্তু আমার মতো করে মুভ করতে পারবে না, হাঁটতে পারবে না, ও গ্লাইড করবে। গ্লাইড কেন করবে? বিকজ দেয়ার ইজ নো গ্র্যাভিটেশন, যতই স্পেস উঠব। সেই জন্য গ্লাইডের শব্দটা ব্যবহার করা হয়েছে। গ্লাইডেড মানে হচ্ছে কি, দেখো মুভড অ্যাওয়ে স্মুথলি, তার মানে আস্তে করে জায়গাটা থেকে সেখান থেকে বেরিয়ে যাওয়া, গ্লাইড করা। সো আমি ভিউইং রুম থেকে I glided down the viewing room প্যাসেজটা থেকে to the center of the space station. আমি কোথায় এলাম? স্পেস স্টেশনের একদম মাঝখানে। I could see my father there surrounded by reporters. দেখলাম সেখানে বাবাকে বাবা গভর্নর, বুঝতেই পারছো, বাবাকে চারিদিকে সমস্ত রিপোর্টার্সরা ধরে রেখেছে। They were all around my father. I came back to the view room which was empty. আমি তাড়াতাড়ি করে সেটা দেখে ভিউ রুমে চলে এলাম। না বাবা, so many people, so I didn't like it. I came back to the view room. I looked out into the space. আরেকবার বাইরের দিকে তাকালাম। My moon, my home appeared very small now. আমার মুন, আমার বাড়ি, আমার যে এখন বাড়িতে মানে মুনে সমস্ত ছোট ছোট বাচ্চারা আমার বয়সী তারা কিন্তু পার্টির জন্য পার্টি করবে বলে রেডি হচ্ছে। কেন? There's always a party at sunrise. আস্তে আস্তে সূর্য উঠছে তো, যতবার সূর্য ওঠে ততবার কিন্তু পার্টি হয় মুনে। আর জানো দুঃখের ব্যাপার কি, আমাদের মতো না যে সকাল হলেই সূর্য দেখতে পাচ্ছি, সকাল হলেই বাইরে বেরোচ্ছি, দরজা খুলছি, জানলা খুলছি, we can look at the sun and we feel it's sunny and warm. It's not that. The sun rose only 12 or 13 times a year. আহারে, একটা বছরে 12 থেকে 13 দিন, 12 থেকে 13 বার বলতে পারো the sun rises there and the moon. And obviously যতবার সূর্য ওঠে 12-13 বার হোক, ততবারই মনে হয় it's light, it's warm, and they have a party there on the moon. The sunlight crept slowly along the surface of the moon until finally night was gone. আস্তে আস্তে করে সূর্যের আলো চাঁদকে ভরিয়ে দেয়, আর চাঁদের অন্ধকার আস্তে আস্তে করে it vanishes. And what happens? The moon is lighted and it seems it's morning and sun is there and they party and they are very, very happy.